Hello. Good evening, everyone. A very happy Women's Day to all of you. I am Animes, the head convener of this event, and I will not take your much time to introduce our speakers. Today on this stage, we have two exuberant personality as our speaker. We have Yashica Patodia, a pre-final year student from IIT KGP, and Vani Chitkara, जिन्हें आप लोग वानी दीदी के नाम से भी जानते हैं. Yes, we have Vani from IGTUW. First, we will start with Vani. She is an genius public speaker and is very much engaged in open source community. She got selected for Outreachy when she was sophomore, and she also GDSC lead at IGTUW. She was a former intern at OpenArchive and upcoming intern at Microsoft. She have also received various scholarships and have experienced a lot of things in her life. It's my gratitude as well as yours that Vani is among us. Today, she is going to share the secret behind her consistency and also how she got selected for Outreachy. So, Vani, why don't you share your presentation and introduce our audience in your way?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the lovely introduction, and I hope my presentation is visible to everyone. So, hello everyone. I'm Vani Chitkara, and I'm from IGG2W, just as Anivesh told. And I'm in pre-final year, and I'm the current GDSC lead of IGG2W and an upcoming intern at Microsoft. And I've interned as an outreach intern at Open Archive previously, and I'm still working with them. And along with it, I've been part of a lot of technical societies and drama societies. So yeah, that's about me. And now let's get started to what open source actually is and how you can contribute to an open source repository. So let me move to the next slide. So free and open source software like FOSS community have their source codes available on the internet that can be modified. So you can contribute to these communities as a volunteer or you can work with them on contract basis. And these communities have contributors from all around the world. So it's like you'll find a lot of diverse people around there. Some would be from Argentina, some would be from USA, and you'll be interacting with a lot of people who might not share the same culture and technical background as yours. And the best thing about free and open source software is that everyone can contribute. There's no eligibility criteria for that thing that you have to be from CS branch or you have to be from a certain branch. Everyone who has the interest to contribute can contribute freely to these repositories. So about my journey about from open source and like how I got started with it. So in July 2020, back when I started with my sophomore year, I started learning web development. And after a few months, when I was confident enough that I can contribute to other repositories, then I participated in Hacktoberfest, which is an open source, month of open source where people can contribute to open source repositories, and they do get some swags for it. So yeah, you can like the beginner who are just very new to open source, they can start with this program and contribute to Hacktoberfest. And after Hacktoberfest, I contributed to various small open source projects, and like which were from various student communities. Like even I contributed to GDSC IGD2W's project when I was a sophomore and not a lead. So as a web development mentee there, I contributed to the projects. And after that, I applied to Outreachy in February. And yes, it was the first time applying to Outreachy, and I wasn't very sure if I'd be getting selected or not. But then I just crossed my fingers and then went head on to it, and I got selected as an intern. So after the application, I got selected for the contribution period where I contributed to Open Archive, Eclipse Adoptium, and Fedora. I think you must have heard about Fedora, definitely. So I contributed to these three organizations and got selected as an outreach intern for Open Archive. And Open Archive is an NGO which works for digital rights and human rights for people. And they are also a research organization. You can check them out. And so, like after getting selected as an intern, I contributed for 3 months there, and I'm still working with them as a comms associate and a front-end web development manager. And right now I'm working with them on a contract basis. So yeah, that's about my open source journey, and I'm still contributing to a lot more projects. So you must be thinking that, okay, why is open source important? Like a lot of people talk about it, but why should I do it, right? So as you know that you also use a lot of open source repositories, like you use React.js, and you use a lot of open source repositories, right? You use like let's say Python, and you use VLC media player, you use Firefox. So all these products are open source. So these services are provided to you for free. So what you can do to pay back to these communities is that you can contribute to their repositories and try to eliminate the bugs in these repositories and these code bases, and you can contribute to make the code better. And what you can do is that through your contributions people can download the software, and even they can customize the software according to their needs. And the best thing about it is that open source doesn't limit you according to the experience level. Even a total beginner can get into an organization and can start contributing. So there's no limit to it. Whatever experience you have, even if you are a school kid, you can still start contributing. And you definitely can learn new tech stacks while contributing to open source projects. Like, let's suppose if you want to contribute to Python but you don't know how Python works, so that would motivate you to learn a new language, which would add another feather to your cap. So yeah, that's about why open source is important and why you should definitely try to contribute to it. So there are like two parts according to me to get started with open source. The first part is that one, you can start with any tech stack, let's say web development, and you can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then the whole MERN stack with front end and back end. And either then you can learn MLAI or any Flutter app development, and then pick the projects that you want to contribute to based on the tech stacks that you know already. So firstly you can do is that you become a very good level developer in one of the tech stacks that you pick, and then try to contribute to open source. The second and the very non-conventional path is that once you pick a project that you find very interesting, like let's suppose if you pick a project of ML, that is machine learning, and the project is in our language. So what you can do is you can learn that language, or you can learn Golang, you can learn JavaScript. There are plenty of languages, and there are thousands of projects available in a single language. So there is no limit to the projects that you can choose. And the beginners who are thinking that okay, how should I choose my project, there are a lot of websites which through which you can go and check out about the first good issues. First good issues are the issues that are very beginner friendly, and even a complete noob can do that issues. So yeah, that's the path too. So the prerequisites of getting started is like the prerequisites are very basic, literally very basic, and you can learn it in a day. So firstly you should learn Git and GitHub. Like Git is a version control system, and Git and GitHub help you to maintain your code, and you can see the whole development process, and you can revert your commits, you can pull and push the code. So it's a very good way to manage your project if you are a developer. And then the paths I told you about, you can follow either path 1 or path 2 to start your open source journey. And once you are confident enough, you can definitely try out your luck in open source programs like GSOC, Outreachy, MLH fellowship, GitHub externship, and LFX mentorship. Like there are a lot of programs out there. So once you start as a contributor, you can gain experience. Like you can contribute from 3 to 6 months, and once you feel like okay, now I'm ready to mentor and help other people, you can start mentoring people. And then once you start mentoring and do a good enough job there, you can be the project maintainer or the official mentor in the open source programs. So you must have seen a lot of people as who are working as GSOC mentors, so you can reach to that level once you contribute enough. So people must be thinking that okay, I know about open source and I want to contribute, but when should I start to contribute? So the best time to start is now already. You can just after this session only you can sit back and just think that okay, what tech stack I want to start with, and then you can google up some resources about those tech stack and you can start with it. Freecodecamp.com is a very good resource to learn web development and Python if you want to, so you can check that out resource. And yeah, many open source programs are organized around the year, so keep an eye out for the applications for those processes. And definitely it would be a very good start to your open source career if you get into an open source program in your first try. So start early as you can, right? So the open source programs that are very famous right now are Hacktoberfest, GSOC, LFX mentorship, Outreachy, and MLH fellowship. We'll talk about all of these applications in a very brief manner. So, how to get into these programs is that, just go through their whole application process in advance so that you are prepared that what kind of application would I need to fill in. And then when the applications open around, you can take help of a previous intern or a previous mentee, and they might help you with some small doubts of yours, but don't depend on them heavily that they are going to be the ones who are going to get you in that program. It's your hard work in the end which is going to get you in these programs. But definitely do keep an eye open for these applications. Usually these applications are very easy to fill, and you can fill it in a go. So yeah, I think GSOC applications are about to open this time, and an MLH fellowships applications are open around the year, so you can definitely check them out. So, about the beginners and inexperienced contributors who are thinking that all of these programs are very intimidating to me, like how should I start contributing? So, for the beginners, I would be recommending that you can start with Hacktoberfest, because a lot of beginner-friendly projects are part of Hacktoberfest, and many organizations like Girl Script Summer of Code and Script Winter of Code, they organize such events. So you can start with that because they also have a lot of very beginner friendly projects, and the mentors out there are very friendly and they can help you with all your doubts. And about the beginners, Outreach is also a very good program if you are a total beginner, because they don't judge you on the basis of your past contributions to open source. So if you want to try your luck out there, you can definitely apply to Outreachy as well. So when to apply for these open source opportunities? So I'll start with Hacktoberfest. The program starts in October, like as the name suggests, and it runs throughout the month of October, and no prior experience is required. For Outreachy, the applications open twice, but for Indians, it opens in February. So the applications have closed right now, but you can definitely apply next year. Prior experience is definitely appreciated, but it is not very necessary. So if even if you're a total beginner, you are very welcome to apply to Outreachy. They don't judge you at all, even if you haven't contributed before. So about GSOC, the applications are about to be open, though they usually open in the last week of March. And prior contributions to the organizations that you want to apply to is definitely a very big plus point. Like if you already want to contribute to Fedora or like Apache and you have previous contributions, then it's a very huge chance that you can get into GSOC. About LFX mentorship, that is the Linux Foundation mentorship. Applications are open around the year, and you can check out their website. A lot of projects are available there. And same as GSOC, prior contributions to the organizations that you want to apply for are very big plus point. And MLH fellowship, that is the Major League Hacking Fellowship. Applications are open around the year for this as well. But the fellowship happens during spring, summer, and fall. So these three terms are there for the fellowship. They have a lot of varieties of fellowship, like software track, open source track, and beginner track. So yeah, they have a lot of tracks, and you can check that out. The only thing that is required is that you should have a good project that solves a real life problem, and you need to provide the code to that project to the in the application of the fellowship, and you are good to go. And there's another program that is started recently, which is GitHub Externship. It is run by GitHub and is for the students who are part of GitHub campus schools. So you can check out the list of GitHub campus schools there are. And I think the applications open for that in July. And as far as I have seen, previous experience is appreciated but not required. And also there is no such eligibility criteria that you have to have prior contributions to the organizations. So yeah, that's about open source. And about my journey in Outreachy, I applied in February 2021, and then I got selected as an intern at Open Archive, and for 3 months I've worked with them with their you know uh, PR strategy and their web development area. So yeah, that was about my work. I've worked in both technical and non-technical aspect, and yeah, they like my work a lot, so they kept me as a part-time contract worker with them, and I'm still working with them. Like, that team is amazing, and we have a very huge diverse set of people working out there. And the starting point for me was that I won a hackathon. Like, I won the prize of best beginner hack. Like, it was my first hackathon with my friends. So I won that prize, and that was the first moment for me that kick-started my journey in tech in general, and then my open source journey. Like, when I got the confidence that okay, I can win a prize, so I can definitely win much more than that. That gave me the confidence. And right now I am on the other end, and I'm organizing a hackathon which is gonna happen this weekend. So I'll drop in the link if you're interested in just hackathons are not meant to be, like a very rigorous event that you are hacking all day. Even if you're a first year person who just wants to see that what a hackathon is, you can just join it. And even if you don't submit a project, that's completely all right. You can just see that what a hackathon looks like, and the next time you can definitely participate in one. So I'll put in the link to the hackathon, and you all can check out the prizes and stuff. Cool, cool. Wait. Anivesh, can you put in the link that I'm sending to you? Okay, I think Anivesh is not here, but he'll put the link to the hackathon. Okay, thank you.
I
Thank
will
you,
post the
Anivesh.
link.
Okay, thank you. Yashika, you can go next. Like, I have completed my part that I was gonna speak.
Okay,
The stage
Vani,
is yours now.
will you please
Uh,
introduce about prizes and how someone will receive tracks from Ergogen?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. So guys, this is gonna be a huge giveaway in this session, and Anivesh is gonna tell you more about it in the end. But surely you're gonna get a lot of swags, and you know what to do to win the hackathon is that the session that you're watching right now, you need to write the key takeaways from session, that the things that you've learned, a summary of it on LinkedIn, and tag Anivesh and Algos in it. And the top 5 people will be getting t-shirts, and the rest of the winners will be getting amazing swags. I'm right, Anivesh, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Vani, for introducing. And if I have to explain, if I have to express my wholesome experience about your presentation in one word, it's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now, we we also have Yashica with us. I have lack of words in my dictionary to introduce her. She have not left any opportunity untouched. Yashica was a Google Step intern in the year 2021. She was also GitHub campus expert, was research intern at ISB. And if I will include everything about her, the whole time will go in introducing her achievements. So I will jump to our events agenda and will request Yasika to share her experiences, how she got Google Step internship, and how it helped to get Google internship. And also she will share some other internship opportunity with you. So Yasika, please.
Thank you, Anivesh, for the introduction. Is my slide visible?
Yeah,
Anivesh, can you confirm? Great.
yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So, hi guys. I'll introduce myself. I'm Yashica Patodia, as he mentioned, and I'm from IT Kharagpur, and I'm pursuing computer science engineering here. So, I'll start with my experience with Google Step. So, first, I'll majorly point out the journey about how you apply to the application and everything. So, the first step is preparation, right? We need to be have a strong foundation of DSA concepts, and this majorly starts during the starting of your first year. You'll have to keep your data structures and algorithms concepts clear, and you don't need to be proficient in CP, computer programming, just the foundations will do. Then the application process. So it is majorly in the month of November to December, in the during the end of your second year, and you will majorly informed by the placement committee in the online scenario, and you can also refer to the Google careers website where they update regarding these opportunities. And the third process is the shortlisting, where they have a resume based shortlisting process. In this they majorly focus on your previous achievements. You don't need to have a good project in your CV, just the basic needs from a second year which is required, right? And then the fourth process is the coding interview. So in the coding interview, we'll have two coding interviews, which will be 45 minutes each, and which will mostly include DSA concepts. And you might be asked about your resume as well. So be prepared with that. So that was my preparation strategy for applying for STEP in Google. Yeah, so as you mentioned, that I would also be talking about the other opportunities for women in technology. So there are three in your second year. Like one of them is Uber C++, which is in Jan to Feb, and there is LinkedIn coaching from majorly from Feb to March, and then there is JP Morgan Code for Good hackathon, and it is also in your second year. In your third and fourth year, you can have Walmart Coders, which is right now May to June. So keep an eye on these major opportunities and try not to miss them out. So major question here arises how to get updates regarding these opportunities, right? So there are websites like She Gazette. I'll share the description in the I'll share the link in the description as well. So that is a website which majorly keeps you updated regarding these opportunities for women in general. So you can subscribe to that. Uh, yeah. So we'll take the questions at the end. Anyways, I guess we can start with the questions right now.
Yeah, now you all may ask your doubts, and will be happy to solve.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Vani can answer this.
Vani, please.
Yeah, so like just I talked about, so starting with open source, if you know a tech stack like web development, say, so you can find projects and you can find first good issues by typing firstgoodissues.com, and you can find a lot of good issues there. Like I'm finding that website and I'll give that to you. Yeah, here it is. So you can, shortlist according to your tech stack and then choose the issues or projects that you like. Anivish, can you put the link there in the comment section?
Yeah, sure. I will add those links in description.
Cool, cool, cool. So, like, if you know a tech stack and you want to contribute, you can just go to that website and you can shortlist a lot, like, just typing about that. Okay, I know web development and I know HTML, CSS. So, what all projects can I contribute to? So, this website, and there are many websites like these only. So, you can check out the website, right?
Okay, if you have any question, you may reach to Vani, and she will be happy to answer you.
Yeah, definitely. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn and I can help you with your doubts, but don't be heavily dependent on me that I'm going to be the one who's going to push you into open source. I can't do that. But yeah, definitely, if you have any small doubts, you can do that.
We have a question, I guess. For being intern in top MNC, how much CP skills are required? Okay,
Yeah, yes.
so right. So you don't need to be a competitive coder, like you don't need a red coder or something. You just need to have a basic DSA concepts clear. So for my case, I got a re-intern offer from Google after applying through Google Step. So I didn't have to go through the intern process as such. So but as far as I know, the CP skills in you just need to have a DSA concepts well enough. A basic foundations must be strong and clear, and I guess AlgoZenith will prepare you for that. So you don't need to be afraid. No?
Yeah, sure. There are not, CP skills are definitely not something that is required for top MNCs, because the interviews are generally the ones that contain questions that test your problem solving, like the basic problem solving. So if you have done the questions and you have done the basic topics, so you will be easily able to get into those companies that you wish to get into and you aspire to.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.